What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, you're well. This is Johnny. It is Thursday, April 9th, 11:30 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. As you guys are tapping in, just like this video, we were up late last night. We had that Aussie card and we got fights. We have a bit of a break today. No fights today, but starting tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we have 5 straight days of fights. So get your film study in, get your rest, get your mind right, and let's get our bank accounts up because that's what we do around here. So I'm going to take your questions. Guys, if you're a JSB insider, you would know that in our Patreon and our members only section on YouTube, we have 8 tickets. 8. 2 of them are in the UFC, so you boxing heads, there's 6, and then 2 for the MMA boys. And I might give you more. Look, I don't. It's not one of these things that I'm married to in terms of, you know. It's basically what I like. It's when I look at the books. What do I like? You guys have a long parlay. The tickets you'll always get week in and week out is a long parlay, a safety net parlay, prop parlays, usually a dog. I gave you a dog. The dog of the week is out, but it's an MMA dog of the week. It's plus 110. And I don't know if I'm done yet. I'm still waiting for props. There's some props that I'm waiting to drop on the Eye of the Tiger card that I'm not getting. And there's props on the Pro Box card that I'm not getting. So I'm just going to be patient. So we have our long parlay. We have our safety net. We have our dog of the week in UFC. I gave you guys a UFC triple. Also, if you're new to the channel, these are all plus money tickets. And the other 4 are props. There's a knockout prop I like. There is a a points decision prop that I like, 2 of them. So yeah, just check the member section and let me know what you think. Shout out to our boy Liam Talava'a coming through and saving the day last night. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Whenever I get insider information and I share it with you and it doesn't go our way, it is totally 100% on me. I take full responsibility for the bad reads. Now, if you're in the Discord, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because what I do, how I do what I do, people hit me up at all corners of the world. Inside Johnny, man, I know this guy, and I got to be honest with you, over the last 6 months, I would probably say if I've listened to 5 of them, only 1 time it came through. So moving forward, an adjustment I'm going to make is no more unless I've been in the gym, unless I've seen what I liked on film, unless I do what I do. I'm not taking any more insider information because that was freaking awful, dude. The only reason we took Terrell is because, and I'm not putting anyone on blast, it's my fault, is because of a fighter that I coach. I'm his online strength coach. He spars with Terrell, and he was like, dude, Terrell's slick, Terrell's dope. And then we watched him last night, and we're like, what the hell, dude, this dude? And so, shout out to Terrell. He's I think he's only 19. I think what it was is a case of his people moving him recklessly. And you've heard me on the channel talk about the importance of having a camp who knows how to move a fighter. Moving a fighter is equally as important at the early stage of a career as anything else. And so what we saw with that fight is they definitely did not move that young kid properly because he was in there with a Filipino veteran who beat that ass, dude. And so if you're in the Discord, you would know also that I held my source accountable. I showed you guys all of the verbatim back and forth. I was like, bro, this is fucking... So anyway, for the JSP insiders, you have my word. Unless it's insider info that I actually believe in and I'm not lazy, I was trustworthy. I'm a hopeless romantic. I was like, all right, this is my guy. He knows what he's talking about. He wouldn't lead me astray. Oh, God. Anyway, so that double, the Australian double, the good news about it is at least Terrell was the first fight and not the main event. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to find us wins. So anyway, Terrell got that ass beat. Our 2-leg Aussie double got toast. But then if you're in the Discord, you would know in our live chat, I told everyone I was going heavy on Liam Talava'a by knockout. We smashed him at plus 305. and he knocked his opponent out, Django, in the first round. So anyway, all in all, I just wanted to address that. As we evolve and grow as a community, the thing that I'm getting better at is the transparency component. When you guys talk, I listen. When the haters talk, I listen. I listen to feedback really well. When you guys ask for something, I do my best to do it. So one of the things 3 months ago, people were talking about, he doesn't show his tickets. Well, you guys see all of my tickets. And I talk about my losses, and you see the tickets as well. Moving forward, we leave that in the past. We move on to talk about a really busy next. Jesus, the whole year is busy, guys. Did you guys look at May? Did you see the schedule for May? Insane. So I'm going to start taking your questions. I'm going to get this off of the screen now. Let's see where the boys are. Guys, I'm going to keep pinned in the comments section the link to join our Discord. It's a couple bucks a month. Become a Patreon. Get access to the Discord. It's pinned in the comments section. We're 6 minutes in. There's already 50 of you guys in here. We've been peaking over the last few weeks between 80 and 100. All I ask is just like the video. Let's get into this. I'm going to talk to the JSB insiders first. Like Damso, let's go. What's up, buddy? And Jerry's a Patreon. Is there going to be a dog of the week boxing on Patreon only? Yeah, Jerry. I mean, I'm trying for you, brother. I don't like forcing things. I'm not just going to give you an underdog that I don't believe in. So I recognize you as a newer VIP, and you know, welcome to the team. But like, for instance, I always give you guys a safety net parlay, but last week I didn't see one. You know, I'm not box cards that I've been looking at. I'm still kind of torn. And, you know, I don't see one happening on the Eye of the Tiger card either in Montreal. So, you know, if I find a dog, I'll let you know. But I'm not a type of guy to just flush money down the drain. Nobody's 100% accurate, but the one thing I will never do is give you a bullshit parlay or give you a bullshit bet because the odds are good. If I give you a bet, any single bet that you ever see that I give you, at least you know I'll be able to give you a path to victory for the winning ticket, okay? I don't see one yet. I've been doing my work, and if I find one, you will know. David Eister, OG, JSB, OG. Salute, Johnny. Agree with your prediction on program, Ben. I think Connor's going to stop Regis. Progress shot. Can't disagree, playa. King pound for pound. We still good. We up. Let's work. Can't hang out tonight, but I'll be working behind the scenes. I know you will be, King. Yeah, so no fights tonight. The fights start tomorrow. We have a busy next 5 days. Do your film study, boys. Let me know what you think. I think I might take Iglesias on the money line, put it in the parlay on. Yeah, so I got Iglesias on a parlay. And I think Iglesias is going to stop his opponent. His opponent is a good, has a good Russian amateur background. He's very basic, though. He's a technical, basic European fighter. High guard, moves back on a straight line, is there to get hit, isn't too tricky. The knockout is only paying 39%. So that prop doesn't do anything for me. So I'm convinced that Iglesias knocks this dude out. He's not going to struggle with this guy. Probably mid to late rounds. Iglesias is a strong, powerful, aggressive, mean dude with speed. I think this dude Pavel is just basic, and over time he's going to get broken down. My book is giving me 39% on 100, so I'm not going to play that knockout prop. The Punisher, we see eye to eye, my friend. We see eye to eye. Excited for these fights. So, Toto is talking about a fighter last night, Clay Waterman. We didn't have action on him. He fought on the undercard. Clay Waterman, guys, he's 31 years old. When he was 15 years old, he was a boxing world champion. He went to Uzbekistan as a 15-year-old, an Aussie, and he won the Worlds. And, he's been one of the most decorated amateurs of Australia boxing. So much potential. Even when you watched him last night, you see glimpses of it. He got beat by a 59-year-old fighter last night. Now, I thought Clay won. I probably gave Clay, I edged it to him a couple rounds, but there was a knockdown that wasn't called, so maybe that's the boxing gods' karma. I was told by multiple sources that Clay Waterman over the last few years is just a guy who's been burned out by the sport. Make of it what you will. When he was at his best, he's a really tough to deal with. But you saw last night, he goes through so many laws within a fight of not punching, and he looks disinterested. So maybe it'd be best for him to probably think about his career. You know what I mean? You don't want to be boxing if you're not. You never want to be in this sport if you're not trying to be a world champion, man. That's what I say. I know we need gatekeepers. I know we need journeymen. I mean, at the highest level, he's only 31. If Clay Waterman has so much skill, had so much potential, had so much pedigree, that if his mind isn't in totally with wanting to be a world champion, I would tell you, Clay, if you were here, to retire, because you could keep all of your faculties. There's no reason you should be going in there getting touched up like, when you should, getting hit when you shouldn't be getting hit, losing to guys that you shouldn't lose to. That just kind of tells me maybe your mind isn't in it. Blue collar, what's up, boys? Merval, all right, so the cat's out the bag, guys. Look at your books. I'll wait for about 30 minutes in. I'm going to go long today. And Tyson Fury hasn't fought in 18 months. He's 37 years old. A mixed bag of outcomes this stage of his career. What's he really doing it for? Is he keeping track? Is he trying to keep up with the Joneses regarding needing money? Who knows? The points are paying a pretty penny. If Fury is serious about making another run, you'd have to think that he's going to want to get rounds in. So I think this is a value play. My book is giving the points at plus 350. That is a bet that I could live and die with. I'm going full unit on that bet. That's a prop that I have action on. I'm taking Tyson Fury at plus 350 on points, full unit. And like I said, it's a bet that I will go down in a sinking ship with. I think it's a solid value play. It's one of those plays, if it doesn't hit, you're going to be like, but if it hits, you're going to be like, you found it. Plus 350, great value there. Boxing fan, what's up, buddy? He's back, the big dog. The boys missed you. They told you about it. What are your thoughts on Boots Xander press conference? I watched it, King. Fan of both guys. I told the boys in the Discord this exact sentiment. Boots has never had good game on the microphone. Some guys are good on the mic, some guys aren't. Boots really doesn't have that personality. He lets his fighting speak for himself. He's trying to get out of his comfort zone. He seems just like one of these really nice guys who doesn't really care too much about being famous, wants to just fight and let his fighting do the talking. And this day and age of social media, though, and selling fights, we know it's part of the game. You have to sell fights. So I think he was, speaking a little bit more than he should. He could say whatever he wants. The dude's a dog. You know what I mean? He's savage in there. This is a great fight, though. This is a great fight. I love this fight. We've already been breaking it down in our Discord. And the way, it's going to come down to contrast of styles. It's going to come down to, like, will Boots be able to walk Xander Zayas down? Can Xander Zayas force Boots into a boxing match? Will Xander be able to take advantage of some of the quote-unquote holes in Boots's game? Sometimes Boots has flaws. Whenever you're as athletic and as gifted as Jaron Ennis, you could get away with things. I'm not going to say he has as many flaws as Roy Jones had, because Roy Jones in his prime was one of the greatest to ever do it. But we know what made Roy special was his reflexes and his athleticism, and he was able to get away with things from a non-fundamental issue because of those God's gifts when he was younger. And we know the older he got, those gifts disappeared, and he was then made to pay for all of those flaws and holes in his game. And we saw how that career ended. Not too good, right? So I'm not saying Jaron is exactly like that, but there are holes there. He punches with his hands down when he's punching with his opponents. His defense can be leaky. I don't know how much he likes to get hit to the body. Something with Jaron that also, and we know Xander's a good body puncher. Xander's good at range. Xander's good in the pocket. Xander's big, and he could box, and he's fundamentally sound. Boots is going to have, I think, the power advantage, the speed advantage, the athletic advantage. It's just going to come down to, I think fight IQ should be talked about in this matchup. I'm super excited. Right now I'm kind of 50-50. I don't know where my money's at right now. I'm looking forward to doing the tape more and more. I've seen both guys' entire careers. Shout out to Xander for taking his 2 belts and putting him on the line, fighting a guy like Jaron Ennis. Shout out to Jaron Ennis for finally getting an opportunity to have a coming out party. Now, something about Ennis is, like, there's always been something there for me that it's hard for me to put a finger on about Boots's foundation, his balance, his feet. He kind of does, he puts himself he could get himself in bad situations, but he could recover without being made to pay because he's such a good athlete with his footwork, right? He looks kind of slippery sometimes. It sometimes looks like his foundation isn't solid. And the art of taking a punch sometimes isn't always not getting hit. It's being able to take that punch and being able to roll with it and having your feet in place to where you don't take the full brunt. With a technical boxer like Xander Zayas, I think that the goal for him is going to be to try to take advantage of those moments where Boots sometimes puts himself out of position, but then Xander's going to have to worry about not getting countered. And it's such a good fight, man. There's so many. The storylines of path to victory, both guys have multiple paths to victories. It's not just one side, one guy has to do this, one guy has to do this. We're going to really see if Boots has levels. We're going to see if Xander is that dude. We're going to see if Boots is that dude. Both guys have their naysayers. Both guys have their doubters, but both guys have massive followings. This one will divide the boxing discourse, boys, so just be prepared. Puerto Rico versus Philly. This one will definitely divide the boxing circles, so just be prepared, man. I had to repeat that. Johnny, I do favor Hooney on points over Clark, but Clark by points. Yeah, see, be interested in Nick thoughts. Great. What is that? I don't. Yeah, I don't see any world justice Hooney loses to Clark. So I wouldn't even waste your time looking at the other side. There's certain matchups. There's no point when there's an A side and B side, an underdog and a favorite. Guys, don't get caught. Don't trick yourself into thinking that every fight's an underdog. So, you don't want to get into a habit of looking at the other side every single fight. I'll only look at the other side, meaning the underdog, maybe 20% of the time. Or if you catch yourself looking at the other side more than 20-25% of the time, you're going to get gunshot, I think, or you're going to trick yourself into believing false realities that, underdogs could beat every favorite. The reason why those odds are so ridiculous is because Hooney's going to beat up Clark. So just keep that in mind. Yo, Johnny, I got good news. Your boy got promoted at work. Let's go, man. God is good. Randall Light. Promotions. You created it. You're good. This is something that we're not taught in our society, especially individually, is that we do not, you didn't find, we don't find our calling. We don't find our purpose. We create it. You created that opportunity. So cheers to you, Randall Light. Eric, yo, Johnny, we have great stuff. Appreciate you, Eric. Eric, man, you had me thinking, bro. Because of your comment, I did reach out to my MMA boy. He's an MMA manager in Washington, D.C. If you guys go back and do some Instagram stalking, during the pandemic, 2020, I did a live stream Instagram UFC betting show, just like this. I co-hosted it. It was called Easy Money with Johnny and Tyler. At the time, Tyler was a MMA journalist in DC, and I was doing documentaries. And we would do a show just like this. He's now managing fighters. He started a promotional company where he's managing MMA fighters on the regional scene. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, man, what do you see between Tatiana Suarez and Lupi? I was like, I think these odds are too close. I think these odds should be a bit wider. And it was based off of your question, Eric. So shout out to you. Abdullah has looked extremely weight drained at weigh-ins. Distance on Mason versus Cordina will be plus money. Take it. Ooh, Julius looking ahead. Joe Cordina, Abdullah Mason coming up. We got a lot of big fights, boys. We got a lot of big fights. And Julius, I expect you to pop on a stream too. Brandon in the house. The chat's popping up. What's up, Brandon? Guys, could you like the stream? We're going between 60 and 80. We haven't even approached our 30th minute yet. They love Eddie. My underdog of the week is Jamie TKV. Nah, man, you're not the only. Well, I did a poll, guys, on my Instagram. Give me 1 second. So I did a poll on my Instagram 3 days ago. Over almost 4,000 people voted. Take this for however you want. These were the results on the Instagram poll. 4,000 votes. Who will win, Riakpo or TKV? 80% says Riakpo. Now, I was already taking Riakpo on the money line. I think Riakpo stops TKV. But I'm not comfortable in that fight. These are like B-level domestic heavyweights. So it's this is a half unit bet too, by the way, guys. If Riakpo loses, I do lose 2 tickets because I have Riakpo on a long parlay on the money line, and then I have him on a prop at plus money to stop TKV. So if he loses, I lose 2 tickets. I don't think he loses. I think TKV is very mid. I'm not saying, and I think Riakpo is going to be able to control range, control distance. I think he stops him. We'll see. Look. We all have a play, right? We all have a lean, don't we? What's up, man? They love Eddie. It's been a minute. All right, so Jay has his parlay. Fury, Osley, Suboy, Ben. Yeah, Herbert Conceição. Guys, Herbert Conceição, Olympian, fighting on that Pro Box card. Good odds too. That's the Conceição fight is one of those Pro Box fights, guys, that I talked about that I'm waiting for props to open up. Right now, Conceição, you can only jump on him on the money line. I'll bring the odds up in a couple more minutes. I'll show you. Suboy fights in Japan, Osley fights in Canada, and we know Fury fights in the UK. So Julius has given us an OG international parlay. I like it. What is that? What is that getting you? Probably what, like 50% return there for the big bettors? 10 G's to get you 5 G's. Let's go. I like the under in the Iglesias fight 1 through 6. If your books has it, me too. Yeah, look, if you guys are on the Iglesias train by stoppage, the 1 through 6 is the play based off of how he fights. You know what I mean? Based off of his engine, his ferocity, his aggression, his power, the kid could crack. And Pavel, you don't have to watch too much tape of Pavel, his opponent, to see how he punches. My man literally is like this. Not here. Like that neck, that chin is up. Jerry, original beginning with there's always Jerry Leva. We got some OGs in that. Did I maybe I need to have a list. I remember we had 6 people in here. We've come a long way. We're still growing. We're just getting started too. August will be our year anniversary of our live stream in Discord. So we are approaching, it's April now. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. This is our 8th month. Wait till you see us in 5 years, dude. Wait till you see this machine in 5 years, boy. Connor Ben by decision. Odds look good. It's a good bet. Connor on points is a good bet. I just don't trust Regis's durability. And you guys know that I like Connor by stoppage, but you guys are probably wondering, hey, Johnny, I've seen your tickets. I don't see a Connor Ben prop. It's because I like Connor by stoppage, but the odds suck. So I'm not going to be baited into taking him on points when I don't believe in Regis's durability. I don't believe in Regis's punch resistance. Connor Ben is a volume puncher. He's aggressive. He's going to throw flurries. He's going to be on Regis from jump. I could see it being one of these standing TKOs where the ref, but the odds are shit. The odds are like a 38% return, similar to like an Osley Iglesias stoppage. So rather than, we like giving winning tickets rather than, I can't always odds play. You know what I mean? From my perspective, for guys who don't have a platform, who are just bettors and they're doing throwaway bets off of odds, that's fine. People tune in not to do that on my channel. Excuse me for this language. So I can't just give you an odds play when I don't think it's going to hit, and that'll be just a ticket that we lose. We like winning. So I don't trust Regis's durability. He's never been stopped. Okay. Every fighter in the history of boxing who was once undefeated, who had been stopped at one time, had never been stopped. Not everybody retires undefeated or with no stoppages. Most fighters will get stopped. Not all of them, but most. I did not like what I saw in Regis against JoJo. And Connor Ben's going to be a little bit different of a beast. There's no rehydration clause. This fight's at 150. Regis is 37 years old. I just think the writing is on the wall for Connor Ben to steamroll him. Rumors are Regis has a bit of an injury. Hey, boys, did you doing your homework on that? Let me know if anybody found anything. Arslanbek Garcia, it's around. Oh, yeah, dude. What are you talking about? We don't have to. I don't believe in no bet lists, but yeah, you're never gonna hear. There's no such thing as a no bet list, because if Arslanbek Garcia fights again, I'm gonna bet against him, and if Terrell fights again, we probably won't see a Terrell fight again. he's a teenager. You know what I mean? He's a teenager fighting on a C-level Aussie domestic card. So we won't have to worry about Terrell. But we'll probably see Erickson Garcia show up. And Giselle, if we see Garcia, we're gonna fade him. So I don't. That's why that's a perfect example of why I don't believe in no bet lists. Because if you're gonna put any guy or girl on a no bet list, just fade them and take the other fighter and win money. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Rudy Pedroza? Shout out to Rudy. Rudy's an OG. Rudy, I'm not getting any. The only Japanese props I'm getting is the not Renee. Renee fought last week. Estrada El Gallo. It's the only fight I'm getting props on, but I want Takami by decision. First Mexican he's faced. His opponent did get TKO'd in round 12 by Ibuki. Ibuki could crack. We won money on that fight. Ibuki could crack. These are fun fights. Guys, if you're just getting into boxing, if you're just learning the sport, watch these Japanese cards, especially when you see a Japanese versus a Mexican fighter. Usually like 122, 118, 115, 112 pounds. Boy, them guys be throwing hammers. Got Riakpo by knockout. Conor Ben money line. I think it hits. The winner of Zaya's boots will see Fedora for Undisputed. It won't be for Undisputed. The only way it could be Undisputed is if Joshua Kelly loses. So this is a good chat to have. To educate everybody, you have unified. Right now, Xander Zayas is a unified world champion. The difference between a unified world champion and the undisputed world champion is an undisputed champion is what Bud Crawford did at 147 when he had the WBC, WBO, WBA, and IBF belts, and what he did when he beat Canelo at 68. What Xander Zayas is a unified world champion. He only has 2 belts. Josh Kelly has another belt in that division. So and it's Seb Fundora. So Xander has 2, Seb has 1, Josh Kelly has the other. So the only way anyone could be unified or undisputed is if Josh got in the mix. And you guys hate on my boy PBK, but shit, I told you about PBK, man. You guys just think that all these cats would just beat him, but styles make fights. Josh Kelly is an interesting matchup for all of these guys. Same. Hey, bro, do you think Tyson Fury goes similar to Wilder Chisora? I hope. I think that Fury carries Makhmudov. I think that Fury wants rounds. I think that Fury's year and a half off is going to be evident. And I think if Fury at 37 is going to be evident. I hope it's a slow, boring fight. Guys, I told you, though, in my breakdown last week, even though on one of my picks I had Chisora, I said that we were probably going to see just a grueling, slow, weird fight going the distance with Chisora and Wilder. I hope we see the same thing. We'll see. Hopefully, Makhmudov could hang. I'm looking at Ben versus Regis. He called Shushu Carrington Matias head over 4.5. Yeah. Not many people were picking that fight. So what's your play there? Luis Carlo Trujillo. Or what's he say in Inglourious Bastards? that famous scene. Oral. Since I speak the best Italian, I guess I'll speak first. How much Italian do you speak? Nothing. Buongiorno. Boots, 9th round body shot, and new. That's very specific. Makhmudov is an easy target. Fury will eat no distance. Let's go. The odds aren't that good on that, though. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't trust Tyson Fury to be hungry, though. I don't trust Tyson Fury to be mean. You got Julius, you watched it. They're doing photo shoots together. Fury's blowing kisses. I think it's a great prop fight to go the distance. Jamie TKV versus Richard. It's going to be a very boring clinch fest. Yes, this is true. All right, so the boys are on Fury by knockout. Let's go. John Magana in the house. Julius knows ball. Quarter units on Ben Guile. Let's go. Mervin, watching live while working, please. Yes, like it. Guys, 60 and 80. 30 minutes in. Let's like it. As advertised, I'm going to bring the odds up. All right, let's look at this. This is the portion of the show where we look at the betting odds. You let me know what you like. Like, share, subscribe, super chat. Join our Johnny Says Boxing VIP list now. The link is pinned in the comment section below. All right. Since we have that out the way, let's go to the Tyson Fury odds. Let's go to the Tyson Fury odds. There are so many fights. Jesus Christ. Okay, I mean, look, 50% return isn't the worst. So you guys are gonna parlay that, Julius? Julius, you're gonna parlay the Fury knockout with something, or you're just gonna go heavy on Fury by knockout? I mean, because let's see. Give me 1 second. So Fury's last knockout win was 4 years ago. He just hasn't fought in 18 months. Yeah, look, my reasoning with this is solely based on Tyson Fury's age, inexperience, him retiring 49 times, and Makhmudov being a giant. There you go. Tim Bradley says he thinks Xander fades in the late rounds. He didn't. I mean, I thought he answered some questions against Barral, right? Because that was one of the talking points going into the Abbas Barral fight, with some of the pundits taking Barral to beat Xander. They were like, Barral's going to push a pace, Xander's going to fold, and Barral's going to beat him. I was like, I don't see that. I don't see that happening at all. And Xander kept his shape. His conditioning's on point. He's always in shape. He does carry a little bit more weight. He's a big boy. He cuts weight to make 154. Duran, the same thing though. We've never seen Duran in a dog out slugfest. I didn't know how much bigger Xander is compared to Boots. Boots for the first time is going to... Yes, this is true. This is true. And he's not just like... He's not just... some guys are just big and they don't use their size advantage. Xander is big in like an athletic sort of way. If you follow his Instagram, he trains down in South Florida. He takes his strength and conditioning very serious. He deadlifts, he back squats. He does all the functional strength training. You could see it in his frame. It's a different build. Boots actually looks... Boots doesn't look... when they were sizing up, man, Boots looked small next to Xander. He looked like... It looked like Boots had already cut weight. You know how Boots' weight cuts are horrible? He always looks horrible on the scales at 47. When I saw them at the... And then Boots commented, Boots was making fun of his weight. And then you look at the size of Xander's head, too. That matters. Johnny, why does that matter? It matters, man. The size of a guy's neck. The size of a guy's neck. The stronger, the thicker neck a boxer has, dude, you have to train that. It's punch resistance. You know what I mean? Being able to take a shot. Remember Mike Tyson's neck? Ika Beabuchi? Look at Ika Beabuchi's neck. David Tua? I know these guys are heavyweights, but Xander Zayas, boy, he got a thick-ass neck too, man. That's from all those deadlifts and back squats. He could take a shot. Philly in the house. Our boy, good to have you back, big dog. 1,000 I meant. 1K. Oh, yeah, you didn't mean the 0.25? My thought is I think Eddie Hearn wants Bruce Ennis to beat Xander and fight Josh to be. They still wouldn't be undisputed, mate. He still wouldn't be undisputed. The only way they could be undisputed is if Seb Fundora's belt if Seb gave. The only way that could happen is if Boots beats Xander and Boots takes Xander's 2 belts, And then Seb just says, "Hey Boots, here's my belt. You can have it." And then Boots has 3 belts, and so it's not gonna happen. Richard is 36 with little amateur background. His athleticism got him this far, but the first thing to go is speed. I mean, you could sit there and be comfortable with what you saw in TKV's last performance. I'm gonna let you do that. I don't. That was horrible. Just got my ticket to that fight. I heard Shushu was gonna fight the Mexican guy that beat Sagawa. Shushu Carrington is fighting. Is Angela Leo? Is Carrington fighting, or does Leo have a fight already? Bro, imagine if Boots loses. It wouldn't be an upset. What? No way. Biggest upsets? I don't even think Boots should be a favorite in this fight, bro. Imagine if Boots loses. He has one fight at 154. He's never beaten any champions. How would that be an upset? I think that this fight is a 50-50 fight. I don't know what the odds are. If Xander beats Boots, it's definitely not an upset. Xander is a unified world champion at 154. He's the bigger guy. He has the better resume. More, like more high level fights. So I disagree with that comment, but we could disagree. Congratulations, Randall. Yeah, Randall got that new job, baby. Get your money, Randall Lights. Am I crazy? Think Cordina could pull it off? Yeah, you're crazy. He ain't beating Abdullah. Get out of here. You know I'm from Ohio. Northeast Ohio stand up. He's not beating Abdullah. Come on, man. Come on, man. Put some respect on Abdullah Mason's name. David, I think Xander will fade Boots. I can see Xander beating Boots. I gotta be honest with you. I don't think it's an easy fight for Boots at all, dude. I just don't like some of the. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. A lot of questions are gonna be answered. I'm a technical guy. I like technique. The counter argument with the Fury outcome, having lost a step, reduced agility, aging. I can see Tyson sitting down on his punches more. I can see it. Melbourne, I can see it too. No, I told somebody in the chat last night. Nobody knows. None of us know anything. This is all speculation, boys. So I could see it, man. I could see Xander beating Boots. I could see Boots beating Xander. I could see Tyson Fury winning by knockout. I could see Tyson Fury winning on points. What I can't see, though, is Fraser Clark beating Justice Hooney. I definitely don't see that. I put Justice Hooney as a top 10 heavyweight. Any parlay just for Thursday fight? I posted on Big Dog. Regis is getting. Damn, we're getting biblical out here. I agree. I think I don't know why Regis is fighting. Man, he does not look good against JoJo. Look how these fighters are trending. Look at the politics of the fight. Look what's not like. I think Connor's gonna steamroll him. And look, I'm not about that hate. Like when Connor, tested positive, I'm not a guy to hate on a fighter. I wasn't there. Like Connor gets a lot of hate. I actually don't mind Connor, Ben. I gotta be honest with you. I'm a contrarian though. I like craziness. I don't like just craziness, but there's a part of my personality that I like outliers. I like contrarians. Guys like Connor Ben, I understand them. So, but I'm watching all these content creators. So many people are picking Regis to win simply because they hate Connor Ben. So I think that one of the things that we should do is always remove emotions from our picks. Wherever you're putting your hard-earned money from, make sure that your bet is going with your wallet and not with your heart. I talk about this all the time. And I'm seeing a lot of content creators making predictions with their heart based off of emotions regarding Connor. I don't see Regis beating him. Does submission count as being stopped? Now, if you just have to, what's up, Cal? You the real GOAT, you the real MVP. If you're in the Discord and you watch all of the live stream fights in our Discord, thank Kyle Hayden. He's the real G. It depends on what your book says, mate. So, some books will say TKO, KO, stop, submission only, two-way win, that sort of thing. I think Ayala has a chance of upsetting the Japan card. Let's see. Ooh, Akitsugi. Akitsugi's fighting. Suboy's fighting. Oh, large as the ball? Ayala versus Takami. I don't. I don't, man. I rate Takami. I think Takami's one of those ones. I like Takami's style. I think that's going to be a really fun fight, though. I actually have Takami on a double here. I have Takami. I got Takami at $1.58. He's down to $1.50. So that's a fun fight. I did tape on Angel and Hyla. I just see too many openings, and I think that Takami is going to be able to score more points and win more rounds. I think he's just going to edge this fight. So I like Takami on the money line, and I like the points. Ben, I don't understand why you didn't stop Granados. I mean, I don't know either. Regis said he's 100%. I saw that, but do you believe him? I heard Josh Kelly and Fandora were going to fight the same day as Addison Boots. It would make sense if the fight takes place. Well, I mean, Fandora just fought 2 weeks ago, March. I guess Boots and Xander aren't fighting until June, April, May, June. That's kind of a quick turnaround, though, for Seb. You know, he did turn, you know, would he turn around in 12 weeks? I'd love to see that fight. Bro, you guys aren't going to like what I'm going to say. I don't know, man. If Josh Kelly fights Seb Fandora to unify, I guarantee Josh would be an underdog. Dude, could you imagine Seb trying to catch Kelly? And then Kelly with all that awkward movement, throwing shots over like that. That's a matchup. Anybody who fights Seb, I'm tuning in. Same thing with Kelly. Anybody like boxing is about unique styles. Could you find two more contrasted styles? See, that's why also on the opposite end of that token, I would really want to see Jerron versus Kelly. I want to see how those two styles would mesh. Jerron Ennis versus Josh Kelly, man, that would be, or like Josh Kelly versus Israel Madrimov. I would like to see how those styles would clash. Madrimov versus Jerron Ennis. I'd like to see how those styles would clash. Our boy Brandon Adams. Nobody's talking. Dude, don't sleep on Brandon Adams. No one's calling his name. Brandon Adams is a whole dog. He's fighting a Garco. I like that fight. I like Adams in that fight. I like Adams by stoppage in that fight. But the odds aren't that good. If you parlay Adams by stoppage at $1.50, and then if you listen to some of the boys like Tyson Fury, you guys could do a knockout prop parlay. It's not really my style, but you could get some good odds if you take, you know, some of you guys like Tyson Fury by knockout, which I don't. I like points. But if you look, Brandon Adams, I think is going to win by stoppage. Osley Iglesias, I think is going to win by stoppage. So you guys can make your own parlay. You don't have to just do what I do. You know what I mean? I when I give you my tickets, you know, a lot of you guys do tell, but a lot of it is like, hey, here's my data. You know, I put the tickets on the table, and you know, it's like we're at the old 80s stock market where you're waiting on the stocks and you're calling, and we're looking at all the tickets, and we're like, oh, I like that one. You know, I'll piece that one, and I'll take that tip here, but I'll put this on my. So you know, you could piece other stuff together. That's what I always say, Power. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows anything. We're just floating on a rock in space. We don't know shit. Iglesias by knockout. I think he wins by knockout. Adamas Agarco distance. I don't know, man. Oh yeah, maybe the distance is $1.50. Let me double check what I was thinking. If the distance is $1.50, that's what I was thinking. That's what my bad. So whatever I just said about Adams, I meant points because the odds will match up. So you guys know I wasn't bullshitting you. Yeah. So this is what I meant. I meant Brandon Adams on points at $1.52. Agarco is tough. It's going to be a good tit for tat fight. I think Adams is just going to edge him. I like Adams on the money line. I like Adams on points. So you could still piece together your own method of victory parlay. I like Tyson Fury, and I was going to do this. Tyson Fury on points pace plus 350. The reason why I didn't put that on any other ticket is because I'm going a full unit. Plus 350 is insane odds. I don't want that to get burned with anything else. So you don't have to get greedy. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to go like half unit or a quarter unit, Tyson Fury on points is plus 350. Brandon Adams on points is 52% return. Obviously, Iglesias by knockout, I really like. You got that's 3. Estrada on points is plus 110. Those 4 method of victories, you're getting great odds, probably plus 1400, something like that. Yeah, Conceição is a dog too. Herbert Conceição. No, he doesn't. Chilltown's not. He doesn't create content. I think he's on holiday. I don't talk to him a lot though. It's tough for me. He kind of just comes and goes. If he popped in, he could come. He knows he could come on anytime he wants. I think Iglesias stops about the same. Progray's been knocked down against Haney. He's been knocked down against Catterall. Jojo Diaz, a 126-pounder, had him in all types of trouble. Beersonov moneyline, Iglesias moneyline, Fury over and a half. Boom. Eric is giving away free game. All you boys out there, come see what I have. He's giving free game. Plus 117. Listen to him. The man knows what he's talking about. Catterall knocked down Regis. Yep. Do I think Connor has a good chin? I mean, he was getting hit with good shots against I've seen Connor drop 2 before though. Angela Leos. Dude, this is a good fight. Angela Leos fighting Risa Lim, 126. After Cordina, Mason should... no, he said he didn't want to move up anytime soon. He's only 21, 22 years old. He said he didn't want to move up anytime soon. How could you dislike Garcia for steroids, but like... Gee! Things that make you go, I'd have to think about that. Did I use the word dislike Garcia? I don't know. They're kind of similar, aren't they? I'd like to see those 2 guys fight. Maybe they should have a fight off. Gary in the house. I think Josh Kelly should fight Bilal Fawaz. Give Bilal a world title shot. Hey, man. Give the kid a paycheck, too, man. You know I'm up for that. We're fans of him on the show. You know, we've done our part over the last year, just as much as anyone else is regarding Bilal Fawaz. We featured his fights. We broke his fights down with Janae Boston. His most recent fight against Ishmael Davis. We've won money on him. 2025 was a great year for Bilal Fawaz and the JSB community betting on Bilal Fawaz. That would be a dope, man, if they did give him a world title shot. I think he's a couple steps away from that. I think Josh would totally outskill him, and yeah, I think Kelly would stop him. I don't think that fight would be close. Distance parlay, tension, Estrada, I agree. Adams, Agarco, I agree. Vern, Garcia. Yeah, what's that paying? See, I already have 8 tickets live. I'm looking for a dog. Julius, who's your dog? Boys, who's the dog this week? You keep asking me this, big dog. I already told you the parlays are up, homie. I've given you 8 tickets. What do you mean just for Thursday? They're out there, big dog. They're out there. Look, and you shall receive. So you're talking about... Yeah, you're talking about the fights tomorrow. You're talking about the Montreal card, the Eye of the Tiger card. Yeah. The parlay's up with Osley and Beerslanov. Look, guys, if you want to win consistently, you don't have to bet on every fight. We have the Eye of the Tiger card tomorrow, right? You guys are getting six fights. I'm not betting on every fight. You know what I'm saying? So the card for tomorrow is up, but I'm only betting 2 fights on that card, and that's part of a parlay with other fights. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, and I've noticed in our Discord, people having meltdowns in the UFC chat because when the UFC happens, there's 12 fights, and you guys have your tickets, but you're betting on every single fight. That is a fool's way to win money, and that is a sure way to lose all of your money by betting on every single fight. What do you guys think? You guys think you're Rain Man? You guys think you're just gonna win every freaking fight? No. My advice to you guys for the UFC this weekend: don't sit there and watch the UFC and bet every fight. You're gonna be miserable. You're gonna talk shit. You're gonna lose, right? I have for the UFC of the 12 fights, I have 3 fights I'm playing. You guys know who I'm playing. Of the Eye of the Tiger card, which I think we're getting 6 fights, I have 2 plays. Of the UK, the Netflix card, I have 3 plays. So you got to have your strategy. You got to learn to create strategies around winning, not just degen gambling. Yeah, I was thinking about a dog here. Santana should handle him. Santana should handle him. All right, so guys, if you want a dog of the week, Julius's dog is TKV. I obviously disagree with him, but you guys have been asking me for my dog. Take Julius's dog of the week, TKV. Do I think Zerto lasts the distance? I think so. Zerto big. Zerto crafty. Probably off jump. It's not my official pick. Off the top, I think so. Guys, we're floating between 70 and 90. We're approaching an hour. Like this video. That's all I ask. What's your thoughts on Hooney, Beerslanoff, Connor, Riakpo, Tyson? I like it. But, you know, look, Johnny, what is the fight you're most cautious about? It's the Riakpo fight. Of course it is. I'm not comfortable in that fight at all. You know, and if I've thought about taking that fight off of my parlays. I don't like that fight. But it's the game we play. Okay? I'm not comfortable. TKV is very club level. I just think Riakpo is one club level above TKV, and that's what I'm leaning on. So I'm not comfortable with that fight. Probably every week I tell you guys I'm not comfortable with any of my picks. You know, I'm generally it's usually like a 50-50 lean. This week, the one fight, the crazy thing is, historically, the fights that I'm usually the most uncomfortable with, like stressed out about, I usually win, which is crazy. So what does that say? You know, what does that tell you about me? I don't know. I'm not comfortable with Riakpo, but I would tell you the same thing if I took TKV. How could you be comfortable with either guy? Look at the product we're getting. You know what I mean? One guy, TKV, who can't punch, who puts his head on his opponent's shoulder, who just stays on the inside the whole time, who makes it a weird-looking fight. And then another guy, Riakpo, who's built like he's from, you know, a Greek god, who's kind of stiff, who wants to land his backhand. And it's just stylistic, you know, neither guy is going to become a world champion. But, you know, if one guy thinks they would be, you'd have to think that it'd be Riakpo. He moved up. He fought Chris Billum-Smith really tough. Chris Billum-Smith is a big dude, man. TKV is only 6'2". Isn't Billum-Smith 6'4"? It's only a weight class, you know, a little bit below. Riakpo's a big boy. I expect him to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more powerful. I think he's going to control range, control distance. I think he's going to knock TKV out. TKV falls over his work. He lunges in. Not a very skilled fighter. But yeah, that's the one. I'm not happy about that fight. Mark, we got an 8-month member in the house. I love these little shout outs. I love how YouTube does that. Are you high on Alberg? Big fight from, I think he could counter Jared. Yeah, I think I got Alberg to win that fight. Addison in the house. What's up, Addison 9048? Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Appreciate the positivity. It's the positivity that makes us grow. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you. I just think Riakpo is a better resume. Dude, what a nickname too. The Midnight. I love that nickname. The Midnight Train. Let's go. Me too, man. Me too. Built like a monster. Why isn't Ben on my safety net parlay? Only because here's what I try doing. Good question. Because the Connor Ben odds on the money line, the Connor Ben odds are only $1.08, right? So on the money line, Connor Ben is $1.08. one of the things that you'll always get from my tickets is they'll always be plus money. So I generally don't like adding more than 5 legs on a safety net parlay. You know what I'm saying? Like anything over 4 legs, because 4 legs is 4 opportunities to lose. 5 legs is 5 opportunities to lose. So this week, due to the odds, I had to put together a 6 leg safety net parlay, which is usually breaking my own rules. I usually will never do anything more than 5, but I had to do that to create plus money. So our safety net parlay is plus 147. With Connor Ben being $1.08, he does nothing for us. Do you see what I'm saying? So there isn't. I have to be strategic with you guys, and it's a great question, and I love questions like this, so you guys could, deep understand a little bit more in depth on how I strategically go about this when I'm formatting my plays and my tickets and where I'm putting my money at, and so that's why. Didn't react but beat CBS in the first fight. He did. Dude, react. He did. Look, the chat has me second guessing my pick, London. You guys know how this goes. I used to, from Tuesday to Thursday, I used to not go in the Discord. Because I didn't want to get and it was the wrong thing for me to do, because the days of me not going in the Discord was the days of chaos happening. I would leave on like a Sunday, and then I'd come back on Thursday, and there'd be like buildings burning, cars flipped over, robberies, unsolved crimes. I'm like, what the? I'm getting text message from dudes outside of the Discord. Did you see what happened in there? This was like early days. And the reason why I used to think I had to avoid it, because I didn't want the Discord chat to persuade my intuition and my film study and where I was going with my picks. But I've noticed since about December, since I changed that, I keep an eye every day. It's actually made my picks better. You know what I'm saying? Like listening to the discourse of the people in there, and then every now and then I'll have to moderate it. Like I had to moderate. We had a new guy. We got like 15 new guys in there over the last 4 days, and there was a ticket that lost last night. So whenever one of our tickets lose, people have meltdowns. Guys, you have to learn how to lose, dude. You know who I'm talking to. So it doesn't happen a lot. But whenever a ticket loses, people will get, I hate Puerto Ricans, I hate whites, I hate black. Like it gets like the worst of the worst, right? So then I have to like moderate and put people on timeout and do all that. It doesn't happen a lot. But this week, over film study, I'm seeing a lot of people liking TKV. So that's making me second guess all of the film study I've done, which is a good thing. It's why I say this is not an echo chamber. It's why historically, week in and week out, we win. Some weeks we win a lot. Some weeks we just win a little, but every week we win. I've been on a lot of my parlays. I know. I'm always afraid. Addison, a magician never reveals their secrets. Can't give them away, all of them. Not even mad about the loss on ice cream. I was just laughing my ass off watching that dude get whooped. Dre, he was getting that ass beat. We all were. Look, it was funny last night. It's just that when I went to bed last night, everything was all copacetic because we won. We ended up winning on top. We hit the plus 280 knockout. So we hit. Our win was bigger than our loss. It's just that my nighttime is different from your American. So I go to bed at 11 p.m. last night. I wake up at 6 a.m., 7 hours, and I'm seeing like one of you guys. And it wasn't you, PJ. PJ, you're good. I'm not going to put anyone on blast. They were just talking all. I was like, bro, and then I looked when they joined. They joined like 4 days ago. And I don't know how it is in other boxing forums. I've never run a boxing Discord before. I've never done. This is all new since August. But I assume a boxing Discord is kind of like a comment section. Super toxic, right? With a bunch of casuals. That's not how our community is. So I think when guys sign up and they think it's just a betting Discord, they don't understand that it's very educated in there. There's women in there. There's teachers in there. There's pro fighters in there. There's the Yoenli Hernandez, Coach Bermudez is in there. Kelly Pavlik's in there, which I won't tell you his name. Other pros that I'm friends with are in our Discord. And so it's like, act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? It's always easy to win. When we lose, learn how to lose. Jesus, that's all I'm saying. Shadesha Gray. The only one alive for Clarissa, so I'm over Green beat Daniels. I forgot that's coming up. We got some big fights coming up. I was falling asleep with that one fight was happening. I kept watching. Oh, man, that was horrible. That Terrell fight was horrible. It was like, how do I explain? Because we all had money, and it was such a bad read. Bad insider info. Look, however pissed you are, I'm equally as pissed. Do you hear me texting and writing fucking about it, talking shit about a whole nation? You guys it was getting biblical in there. We pick Allberg. Let me look at the odds. I haven't got there yet. What's up, Usif? Yeah. I don't know how many likes are, but we peaked at 100. We're at 70 now. We're over an hour. We should have at least 50. Guys, we have over... We're almost at 500 JSB insiders in our Discord. And so there's like almost 300 on YouTube, which is great. 30 likes is disrespectful. Thank you, Yusuf. 30 likes is disrespectful. Only way you'll get better is it's seeing where you went wrong. You got to make adjustments. I woke up this morning confused why everyone was tweaking. It was one guy. It's always it's obviously never the same person, but what happens is it's always like a new person who they come in there. They're like the new kid in school. Do you remember when you're like 4th grade? This is how it was in my school. A new kid would come and he'd have to fight at least 3 of us. Like whenever there be a new kid, boy, he better be ready to throw hands with at least 3 of us. And then once he fights a couple of us, then he'll be part of the. I remember Chris Williams. We were in 2nd grade. I had to scrap him in the bathroom. I was the first one to have to fight him, and we had a rule in the 2nd grade. All the fights happened in the 2nd grade bathroom, and if anybody told on anybody, we would beat you up after. We're 7 years old making these rules. St. Anthony's, we had 10 kids in our class, all boys. And I remember Chris Williams stepped in the school 2nd grade, new kid, boy. I had to be the first one to introduce him to the 2nd grade of St. Anthony's. And but it's like in the Discord, dudes will walk in and try to flex at F this. And you know what's happening though is cool is that the OGs, because we got some OGs now in the Discord, people will call them out. But that's why it happened. Sergio Mendoza beating Simstry this Monday. Let me look into it. We got a lot of fights, man. I've never given more than 8 tickets, so I feel like, is that too much? Because I've already given 8. There's 8 tickets out that I already like, I have a lot of confidence in. And since August, I've never given out more than 8 because I don't know what too much is. And I don't know what too little is. This is still learning. You know what I mean? And my books haven't offered all the fights yet either. So I'm still trying to figure out things on my end systematically of like a sweet spot of how many tickets are like a healthy amount to give everybody so people aren't overthinking. How many tickets are too little? With all these fights, you know, we're still trying to develop systems. So I'm open to feedback. There's always a guy once a week that has a meltdown. Cause like guys, we're growing in such a way with like the live streams every day and you guys putting so much into it, you know, the interaction that we don't need. If you guys want to we don't care about people. I don't care like the monthly payment if you're gonna act like an idiot. There's no way you're just gonna stay because you think that we won't kick you out and you could just pay a couple bucks a month to disrespect our entire group. And that's what new people are learning. Okay, more. Is there a limit? Guys, are you part of any other Discords? Like, is it a thing? Like, is there too many tickets? Because the last thing I want to do is confuse you guys. Like, because it's only Thursday. We have fights for the next 5 days. I've given you 8 tickets. And my book is going to give me more fights. You know what I'm saying? So is there such thing of like a guy from my perspective giving too many plays where it gets confusing? I'm being dead serious. I'm still trying to figure that out. That's something, because last week, and it's not a number. It's not like I go into each week picking. It's usually what I see. And last week it was 7. The week before was 8. The week before was 6. The week before I think was 5. This week we're already at 8. I'm trying to figure that out. Apparently Alberg injured and he look. I have to check, Kiza. I don't have action on that yet. Boxing fan newbie missing on legs. Tyson Fury, Arslanbek on. Yep. King, are you Enki? Who is Enki in our Discord? Is anybody on the live chat right now, ENKI, in our Discord? Because King's comment right here reminds me of Enki, like something Enki would say. Because I thought Enki was an AI. If they're good reads, I say, okay. I'm still figuring that out. I think the main system number of plays should always be quality. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think 4+ picks is fine. Appreciate the chat here. Appreciate the chat. We're figuring things out together. I did see all. I got to look into this. I didn't see the Alberg stuff. King, it's just like that's a compliment. Because in the Discord, Enki will give us these really like explanatory responses, like you just did, like time, place, location, data, which I love. You guys know I'm a big fan of stats, so I was complimenting you. Olberg might sleep Yuri. That is my initial instinct, but people are talking about Olberg doesn't look right. I have to do my due diligence. I told you this story, Johnny, but I joined some gambling discords last year and I did the math one day. You had follow dudes crazy live betting all day just to break even. Oh. That sounds like a lot of stress, Kyle. Guys, I got to lock it up. I got a box here shortly. Shout out to Gary. Gary was on the live. I don't know if he's going live now. Follow 3D Boxing. It's not easy what we do. The community is the best. I think what we do, there's not a lot of us doing it, so our communities are growing. Support everybody. Let's get this money. And everything we spoke about, 100% authentic. If you guys have any sort of opinions, any offerings of like strategy, because somebody did say, and I wasn't, whoever was in the chat, I wasn't being a dick and I wasn't getting frustrated about, did you do the parlay for tomorrow? It's just that, here's what it is. Do you guys want me to do just like individual fight card parlays and limit? Because wouldn't that limit us? Like if I just did an Eye of the Tiger parlay, Pro Box 1 parlay, a Pro Box 2 parlay, I think that would limit us in terms of finding winners, picking and choosing. That's why I don't do that. Oh, no internet connection. Damn, he's pissed. That has to drive him insane because when things are out of our control, it drives all of us insane. Stay tuned, boys.